This video is unlike any other customization video on YouTube. I'm going to cover every nook and corner, starting from showing the designing process of the wallpaper, Conky, and even how I convert the Conky design into a workable Conky sitting on your desktop, along with an easy way to edit a theme and convert it using your own colors without getting into any of those messy CSS codes, using an open source application which I created. And here's the kicker, in this video description you will find a cross-distro GUI theme installer designed specifically for this theme. It's your passport to a hassle-free installation on any Linux distro running GNOME. Sit back, relax, and let the installer do the heavy lifting. Plus, you have the freedom to customize the installation to your liking, add or remove those elements effortlessly during the process of installation. This is the final result. Okay, before you start, you need to enable something, that is GNOME Shell extensions. Just head over to their website and install the following, that is Arcmenu. I have it installed. Let me just show you from the installed extension. So app menu is back, which brings this. If you have GNOME 45 Plus, you need this one. Else it will be enabled by default. Go for Arc menu, you will get a menu from here. You can change it from the Arc menu settings easily. User themes to be enabled for changing the current shell theme. So you can change the shell theme from here, or you can change it from GNOME tweaks also. And that is all we need. Okay, now I'm going to create the wallpaper. I took the inspiration from this image. When applied, this has the trees pointing out, so I basically made a smoother version on Inkscape. I'm just going to speed up the process. It's basically very simple, and you will get the link to the wallpaper in the description anyway. So let's move on. But also, there are some other variants of the wallpaper which are Patreon only. It takes a lot of work to create videos like this, so it would be great if you just head over to Patreon and support my channel. That's all, let's continue. Okay, since we have completed this part, I'm going to go to the next part, which is making the Conky. And I'm just going to show you the entire process for this one because it involves in creating all the stuff that is required for the background. But if you want to get the Conky file in entirety, you can go to the description and get it from the links I have provided. Okay. Now I noticed something weird. I'm going to show you right now. So I have this entire Conky file. This is the config. And I basically just copy and paste this config. And I'm going to change all the stuff according to my requirement. Some colors are over here. I took it basically from another Conky file. I don't remember it right now. But yeah. So let's start. First of all, I'm going to change the font to my favorite one, which is Montserrat. Just change it, Montserrat. So we changed it to Montserrat, yeah. And now I'm going to show you how you can import the images and all. I already have one over here, which is a box1.png, and as you can see, this is box1.png. Now I noticed something weird, which I was going to tell you right now. So just right-click, open in terminal. And if I just write here Conky with the C flag and try to run conky.conf, so you will notice this weird white background which comes into view. I don't know why this bug is there and why this problem keeps on happening, but there is an easy fix which I found out after a long time. Now I don't know why that problem happens, but there is a workaround. The trick is to apply a background and not export your PNG as a transparent PNG. Now what background do you need? Basically you just need to head over to background color from selection export and change it to pure black, reduce saturation, reduce lightness, make it pure black and set the alpha to 1. Basically you need to have this plain one and let's export it inside 80.png. I'm going to replace that. Now I'll just close the Conky and restart it. As you can see, the problem is solved very properly. Okay, for the next step, I'm just going to design the Conky over here. Okay, let's brainstorm this area and think of the layout. Okay, I have successfully designed the Conky and now it's time for exporting all the elements required for the Conky. So let us export each of them as a background, and I'm going to select the first one. And remember that you need to check the option export selected only, and then you need to select the background color to be black with opacity or alpha value of 1. This is how it looks like. Now I will change this to box 1. That will be the name. Export, replace. The next one is this, and let's now export that also. Rename it as box 2. Done. Third one is this. Rename it as box 3. And the last one. For this one we need to select all of the elements there. So select those and deselect each of these. Done. So box 1, 2, 3, and this one will be box 4. Okay, now let's go back to our folder to see how they look like. And as you can see, the exports are done properly. Now I'm just going to add them to the conky.txt file. Let us change the PNG to box 1 and save it. Okay, let's start the Conky, and as you can see, it's visible over here. Align it to the left side. So I just need to change this from top right to top left. As you can see, it's correctly aligned. We have a maximum width of 300, which might be causing the issue, or this one might be the problem. So let's go for 20 instead of 150. Yeah, it looks better now. Now before the image, we need to show the welcome message. As you can see, this is now visible. Now you just need to play with the offset and the v offset values here in order to make it visible or inside the screen, because we have a set minimum maximum height, and accordingly we need to set the entire Conky. If you want to set the height and width before you start your work, you can also do that. Just change the ARGB visual to false and save it. Conky might close itself. You just need to restart the Conky in such a case, and you will have an idea of how it will look like, the extent of the Conky. Now for example, the maximum width is given 300. If I set it to something like 400, it might not affect because the minimum is also set to 300. Let's set both as 400 and let's restart the Conky. Okay, I have to save it first, and as you can see, it increases in the width. Okay, now it's important to move this down, so I'm going to use the position operator for that and change these values to something like 70. As you can see, it moves down. I think a little bit more would be better, so let's change it to 100. Now nice. Okay, let us change the offset value to 0 and see how it looks. The P value can also be changed to 0. Okay, now they are aligned properly. Now I'm going to change the gap X value for that purpose. So let's go for 20. Okay. Now we can add the font operator in order to change the font of this particular text. So just go for font, and then we can put the font name over there. So it is Montserrat in my case. Okay, for the size, we have to put the size equals for this to take effect. Yeah, 44 is already very large. I think I'll go for 27.50, 27.5. This one is better. Okay, we were facing some problems, but now it is back. Now let's change the size over here again. So I forgot to use the size parameter, which is causing the issue, and the size is not changing. So don't forget that. Now 44.5 is the next value after 27.5 according to the golden ratio what we are using. So this is what it will be looking like. But I'm going to put something else over here. Instead of that, I'm going to just run a command. So execute, put something like 1600. This is actually the frequency of the operation at which it will be fetched. So after 1600 seconds, it will be again run. Since this value remains constant, we can change it after a long time. It won't affect. As you can see, my username is getting shown, but the colors are not quite right yet. So I've also this work to change the colors. So currently we are using color, and the color variable is put over here, the default colors. So we can actually change these variables to something like color 1. And here we have color 1. Now let's head back to Inkscape and see which color we are currently using for the text. Okay, we are using this. This is the color code we need. Just copy it, and it's better to remove the background currently because it is causing a lot of distraction and problems. And let us change this value back to true, which is going to remove the background again. So let's rerun the Conky, and as you can see, the background it's not visible because we have chosen the wrong color because of the existing background there. So let's change the color back again to the text we have over here. Copy and head back, change the color and save it. Okay, now it is visible. For the next step, let us just lay down all the icons we need. So we also need, just beside this, the box 2. Okay, as you can see, the box 2 is actually overlapping the box 1, and we don't want that. I'm going to change the position of sit here to something like 100. Let us see if it works. Okay, it's starting to work somehow. So let's change it to something like 200. Okay, it's too much. Let's go for 160. Better. But box 2 is not what we wanted. Okay, that is because we are laying down with the S parameter, which is the size, and it's wrong over here, which is 140 by 140. But that is not the case for box 2 because we have set the size differently. So let us see what we can do. So if we go to the export tab, or even for the object attributes, the width is 303 and the height is 217. So I want to keep the height same, right? This is definitely the height, 140. So the height will be 140, but I want to change the width. So we have to do a little bit of calculation for that. And if we go for width by height equals width by height, which is 303.84 084 by 217.974, 303.084 divided by 217.974, and just multiply it with the height we have. So it's coming out to be 194.6643 something. I'm just going to copy everything over here. I don't know if it accepts double values or not, but let us see if it works. Save it, and it fails to load. So let's remove most of the decimals over here. See if it works. It doesn't. Let's go for 195. It does not accept double values, which is weird. It only accepts this one, integers. So yeah, fine. Let's go for something else and reduce the distance. I think 150 will be better over here. Let's go for 157. Okay, next we are going to go for box 3, and a similar kind of calculation need to be done over here. So here we have the width to be 358.690 and the height to be 91.325. So again, 358.690 divided by the height, which is 91.324, and then again multiplied by the height which we want. But for this case, we actually don't want to have any height that is close to this. But since these are of 140, the half would be 70. But this is actually even less than half. I think I'll go for something like 60. So it's 235 5.65. Again, just copy, paste, and change the box number to box 3. 235 or 236 multiplied by 60. Now here we can change the dx for the offset to be 0, and let's save it and see how it looks like. Okay, I need to change the 100 to be 100 plus 140 plus, just for some margin, I'll go for something like 260. Yeah, it looks better, but 257 again will be a more accurate one. Okay, I think it already looks a lot better. Now let's go for this one. Now again, in the object attributes, we can see the size and all stuff accordingly. So it's again 164.055 with a height of 91.325. 164.055 divided by the height, which is 91.324. Now just multiply it with the height we need. Currently, the height needs to match the one we have here, which is 60. So let's multiply it with 60. We have 107.784. So let's take 108. So it will be box 4 and 108. For the P offset, again, let's choose something like 200 and see where it goes. Okay, I think the offset should be more than this one. The current size, which is 236 with some additional padding. For the upper part, we have chosen a padding amount of 17, as you can see. I guess we'll choose 17 here also to make it more consistent. So it will be 236 plus 17, which is 253. 253. Save it and done. It would be better if we reduce the padding a little bit. For example, 250 looks better. I think the upper padding can be increased a little bit by, for example, if we go for 160, and now it looks better. Now these align themselves together, which looks nice. Okay, now let us put the text as required. For the upper part, we need the text to be over here, which is the time. And this one should be containing the weather data, date, day, and the date over here. And these parts will be containing the machine performance. I'll fast forward this part because these are basically consisting of codes. So you can just skip that part and copy the code that I will be showing on the screen. Okay, I finally converted the Conky to the code, but there are some problems here. As you can see, the read data often exceeds the limit that is here, and it does not look nice. So I'm thinking of changing it with something like the storage usage, but I basically went for the read data because it is not very much constant like the storage usage. So yeah, but anyway, I'll swap it out. This is the current code for the Conky, which is getting used. It has a weather widget. It shows the date, the time, and also it shows the username over here. And I have another Conky for handling this part, which shows some Linux jokes. This is the code for the Conky. So the Conky part is done and it looks like this. This I'm going to fix later, and the updated Conky will be put down in the description. And here, due to some reason, the screen recording turned out to be absolutely horrible. So I cannot show it to you here. This is a basic representation of how the screen recording turned out to be. So it's not usable at all. But anyway, it was not a very important part because I was literally changing the colors of Everforest theme. But before we do this part of changing colors, it is important to install the Everforest theme. And after the installation, I'll show you how to change the colors of the shell. The current shell that I'm using is Evergreen Shell, which is another modification of the Gruffbox theme, because the original Everforest shell theme is actually not working properly. So there are some issues with that. But anyway, we are going to use the Gruffbox theme, which has been changed to Evergreen Shell with changed colors. And we are going to change the colors of the Evergreen Shell again to match the blue color that we have in the background. So you will get an idea of how the changing is done in this part also, so you can change the colors accordingly. Alternatively, you can get access to all the modified dot files and themes from the links in the description. Now I'm going to show you how you can install the theme. So just open your terminal, and if you want, you can create a new folder just to keep stuff clean. For example, I can create a folder named theme and you can cd into the folder themes. Yeah. And now you need to have the git command installed. If you don't have it, just install it, sudo dnf install git. If you're on Fedora, if you're on Ubuntu, you need to install using the apt command, sudo apt install git. So same stuff. I'm currently on Fedora, but anyway. And now we need to get something else, that is just search for git. Here I have the link already. Just search for Everforest git and you will get the link. Copy this and paste it over here. Git clone. I forgot to use the command properly. And then paste it. Now it will clone into Everforest GTK theme, as you can see. And one of the advantages of getting it from the GitHub is to get all the important stuff, whatever you need, along with the icons, themes, and all. So if you want to use the Everforest icons, this would be a good approach for that. But another advantage of getting this theme from here is if you cd into this, you also get the extras. So you can cd into extras, and I can show you, and I can show you that themes for the blank, text editor, uLauncher is also there. So you can install it from here. Now cd out of the directory. What we are interested in is themes. So cd into themes. So you get all the dark variants along with the light variants with bordered, borderless. Now what we need to do is very simple. It's just copy using the cp command, and we need the border version. So just copy this, Ctrl+Shift+V. And currently I have actually edited everything. So if I open tweaks, I can show you that the colors are edited. So currently I'm using blue shell, which is a modification of the Everforest dark B. And for copying, you just need to use this. But wait, you also need to use the R flag. So recursive and Everforest dark B. This will help you copy the folder from here to a folder that is inside .themes of your home directory. Now if you don't have .themes in your home directory, it is very simple. Again, you need to create .themes. Just open this and mkdir home/.themes. And also we are currently using an icon pack, which is this. This is actually the Nordsee Cyan Dark. Now I got this from Pling or a similar website like that. Just search for Nordsee Cyan Dark and you will get all the required stuff. You can get it from GitHub if you want, or just to be simple, get it from gnomelook.org. Download and choose the cyan version of the theme. So search for cyan. Here we have cyan dark, and install it by copying, by extracting it inside the .icons directory. Now if you don't have the .icons directory in your home folder, again you need to use the same command for mkdir and create the .icons directory. That's all. Okay, now let's change the colors for the theme. Now I'm just going to show you what I did, because for GTK 3 and 4 both, I don't have any of those recordings since I showed you that they got corrupted. But I'm just going to show you the basics, how I did. So I'm just going to launch the application. You can get it from the link in the description. It's available for free. Just download it from there. I have kept the file inside desktop. And if the link is not yet available, it means that I have not launched it yet, because there are a lot of cleanups that I need to do. For example, the CSS code part, I want to remove it before launching the application. So you will just get the edit colors, because CSS code is not yet ready. If you do anything with that, it might end up corrupting your CSS code files, and I don't want that to happen. So just head over to home, and for example, I have it inside themes. I'll just show it directly on the Everforest Dark B, but it is a good idea to make a copy of the Everforest Dark B and name it differently so that you can change it accordingly. So here we have Everforest Dark B. So if you mess up, you can revert back to original. It actually happened, I messed up. I copied the same color in 2 different places, and since this change, I'm just going to show you what happens. So gtkdark.css, edit colors. For example, if I change this color to the exact same color as the one is over here, the application now will keep on changing all the colors that are inside the theme to this color. So whenever you edit this or this, both will be changed at the same time simultaneously. Next time you launch the application with this CSS file, you will notice that you do not have this separate entry for this color. You have one single entry because it will be seen as a single color. The identity is lost because this entire color code or bar or boxes, whatever you call them, are created based on original colors which are there inside. It's not based on the amount. It is not based on the appearance of color. If you want to see the appearance of color, you can see the bottom part, which shows the current theming condition, the number of colors present in the entire color list present inside the CSS file. Okay, let's do something. Now I'm going to show you something bizarre. So it is very much understood that the current foreground color is set to this color. Now if I want, I can change it to something bizarre. For example, let's go for something like this, just for the purpose. And you can see all the colors change accordingly in the lower part. So wherever it corresponds to, including the lesser or higher opacity colors. Okay. Now also remember that the opacity that is over here will be preserved. So just the color part is changed. The opacity is preserved. These do not account for the alpha values in the CSS file. Okay. Now save it using this button. Now, before we do anything, I'm just going to show the current condition of the file. So let's switch over to a different application theme, which is the Everforest Dark B, the one we are changing right now. Currently, we have this. Now I'll do the bizarre change, save it, switch back to blue, and then again switch back to Everforest Dark B. As you can see, the colors have changed accordingly. So you can edit any theme according to your own color choice using this application. All for free. Okay, now let's move on to the next part and let me show you how I changed the shell colors. Okay, I've finally changed all the values over here and we have this new color palette made accordingly. Let's open Tweaks to show you how it looks like. This is how it looks like. If I put it against the background, I think it looks quite nice and goes well with the current background that I'm using. So, great. Now let's move on to the next part. The next part would be definitely our shell, right? Currently we have the Evergreen Shell installed, which is a modification of the Grubbox theme, same done with different colors and all. So let us now change it. We just need to go to Evergreen Shell over here, but however, I do want to create a copy of the shell handy so that if we again go wrong somewhere, we can again recover. We have something to recover from. So I'm just going to create a copy of this Evergreen Shell. Rename, let's change it to Blue Shell. I'm going to think of a better name later. Rename and done. Let's open Tweaks. Yeah, it's already open. I need to close and open it again. So Tweaks here, appearance, and change the current shell to Blue Shell. Nothing changes because it is the same theme as the Evergreen Shell. Now, there was a problem with the Everforest Dark B shell, and I'm going to show you what. I was just trying to change the colors and all. Leave it. I did not mess with the original file, but if you see here, these buttons go wrong. I mean, they're out of the boxes or whatever. I don't know. This is a bug. They have not fixed it yet in their recent release also. I've shown in the previous video. But anyway, I was just seeing their colors, how I can change this entirely. So it looks a bit weird right now because of all these. But anyway, let's go back to Blue Shell. This. Okay, now go to .themes, Blue Shell, GNOME Shell, and GNOME Shell.css. Go to edit colors. We have all the colors over here, and let's just copy and paste everything. So we have this, copy, change it. Then we have a dark background color, which is okay. It's it's pure black, not required. We can go for something like this one for this one. So let's choose this color, copy, and let's replace. It's basically a simple process of just transferring the color from here to here. Most of it is green here, as you can see. This is, I guess, the background color. It needs to be replaced by this one, but I'm hoping to choose a lighter version. Oh, sorry. Copy, paste. Let us see how much of it has changed already. Okay, as you can see, the background now matches with the current color getting used, so it looks nice. Also, all the other stuff are also changing. For example, here inside, the background looks very similar to this. I do want to change the background a little bit so that it looks kind of a bit different, but let's see what we can go for. Let's go for a lighter variant of the same color. I think I'll stick to something like this. Let's check it out. This is how it looks. Okay, let's go for a little bit darker variant. Okay, a bit dark and a bit of saturation. Okay, there was some problem and I think the app crashed. But let's try to change the shell and see what problems it has created. I think the shell is still fine, but the application crashed. So let's try to relaunch the app again, because a little bit of the changes are still left. So again, open file, home, dot themes, blue shell, GNOME Shell, and GNOME Shell.css. Head over to edit colors. Great. Now for the rest of the colors are left, this part and all, I think we can go for a blue accent of all the colors over here. So just change them to a blue variant. What you can do occasionally is just save it and switch back and forth for seeing how much change is happening and how much of it is getting affected in the shell. For example, as you can see, this color has changed to blue currently. And the more we change the colors and all, the more changes will take place. That is all and done. As you can see, we have switched to a blue variant of the theme. This was someday Grovebox theme, which was changed to something else, which again got changed to something else. It's so easy to edit stuff inside Linux. It's really amazing. Okay, that is done. Now let's move on to the next part. Now, GTK 3 theming is done successfully, but what we need to do right now is change the GTK 4 theming also. So in order to make it take effect immediately, GTK 4 theming is a bit different from the current theme that we did, which is the GTK 3 theming. Sorry for the sound again in the outside. There are some construction work going on. So run as program, we're going to go for home.config/GTK4 and we have the gtkdark.css file, and again we have all the colors required. But I'm just going to copy and paste all the colors that we have already. So just get back to here, open another instance of the CSS editor. It's not a CSS editor at this point, but anyway. So head over to .themes, go to blue. We can go to GTK 3, dark, and edit colors. We have all the blue colors and all over here. Actually, it shows all the RGB colors we have here in the terminal. Okay, great. The first color, I am guessing it is the text color. So I'll just change it to the one we have here, which is this. So copy and paste. Next we have this. If you see closely, the colors do correspond a little bit. That is also done. I'm guessing this is the background of the application. We can change that also. So copy it and paste it. Done. I think this is replaced by this. So again, copy, paste, and then we have some other colors. But what we can do quite easily. Okay, let's go for this color also. Copy, paste, and it changes. The rest of the colors, I'll just choose a random blue hue from here, so it changes accordingly. So you have to remember what is the predominant color of the theme which you are changing. For example, in this case, it is actually Everforest green color. So if I change all the green colors to something that represents blue, we can change most of the accent colors inside the theme. Okay, so that is all. I think most of it is changed properly, and I won't be touching the other parts because they represent some other colors and they don't really require immediate changing right now. Save, and I'll just hope it works. So let us try to open a GTK4 app. And GTK4 theme works differently, so I don't know how it gets applied. Sometimes you have to just log out and log back in, so it's a bit difficult to work with. But anyway, let's see if we can get it to work. I'll just log out and log back in and see if it is working or not. Now I have changed the GTK4 theme, and if you see here, it's all changed by a little bit. So if I open tweaks, you will understand the amount of change that is done. Now the GTK4 theme is currently having a darker background because the problem with GTK4 is that there are certain lines over here. If you see, they are still visible. I don't know how to change the colors of those, and they are not quite consistent with this background. So I guess what we can do is either make this background a little bit lighter, or just make this a bit darker. So let's open the desktop folder inside which we have the editor. And another thing which I discovered is that you need to head over to the GTK4 and gtk.css in order to change the colors. Due to some reason, GTK dark.css does not have an effect. Okay, currently for the background we're using this. I think I'll go for a little bit lighter variant of the same color. I think we can go for something like this. Save it and just close all GTK based applications we have. Let's start Nautilus again. I don't think it has been applied yet because we again need to log out and log back in. This is quite difficult, especially while you are creating the theme, because without live feedback it becomes a big issue or a problem. And we have successfully logged back in. As you can see, the colors have changed, but there are some problems. You have these lines and this color does not look quite right with the background color currently given. So it is a little bit of a problem there. So let's go back to desktop and again open this in terminal this time, not in console. Get inside .config/gtk4 and again gtk.css. Edit colors, this is the background color. So it's better to switch to the darker variant. Save. I don't think it is quite dark yet, although just to be safe, let us select the next dark variant over here. Okay, we are back again and let's see the files app. See, now it looks much better. But again, if you try to launch something like tweaks, you will understand that the background is actually lighter in tweaks. But anyway, I personally don't mind this change of color between the two different applications, but I would prefer the lighter color. I'm also going to launch another set of themes, not set of themes, I'm going to launch this theme. It will be in the description with the same dark color that has been used over here. So if you want the darker variant and if you're looking for all consistency between the GTK4 and the three applications, you can go for that. Or if you want a lighter color just like me for the GTK3 and you're fine with that, you can go for this. Okay, let's move on to the next part. So we have completed the change of our desktop shell, GNOME Shell. We have done the change for theme. Now the only part that is left is the icon pack. The icon pack might be a little bit challenging. I was thinking of something that is based on blue, but similarly like Everforest. But I don't think such icons do exist. Let's search for GTK icons and see what we can get. Again, we have those macOS icons. Reversal icon theme. I'm looking for something that is based off blue. But then we have another one over here, Nodesy icons, but they are kind of like Mac icons if I'm not wrong. Okay, let's try them. I'm going to go for turquoise dark. Wait for a few seconds to download the theme and download. Also, just for our own need, I'm going to get the cyan color also. So wait for a few seconds while it is showing the countdown. Let us open this and you will get... Okay, wait for a few seconds. Let's copy this. Go back to home.icons and paste it over here. I'm just going to relaunch tweaks. Tweaks. It turns out the file operations, yeah, it just completed right now. It was just copying. So just change the icons to Nazi turquoise dark. Okay, I think it looks more decent. Wow, it looks very nice. But if you want, you can go for the cyan version also. I think cyan will look much better with this. So I would also download the cyan version. Okay, it is successfully installed right now. Now let's move on to the next part and install the Conky. Now the Conkeys are all done, right? So we just need to run the Conkeys as we have done them. Just head over to home and go to the AT file. Inside here we have the Conkeys. Now open in console and start the Conkeys. They're very simple, just ls and Conky with the C flag. We have to run conky.conf. Another one is with the C flag, again conky bottom.conf. Yeah, so this little problem will be solved. Yeah, so this is how it looks. Now, since I told you earlier that this problem needs to be solved, so I will just replace it with the percentage. You can find it in the link in the description by downloading the file from there. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Do like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.